I did not stub my toe.
Exquisite partner for Flynn.
Strange man.
Strange? Because I can feel for beaten, helpless people.
No, you're strange because you want to do something about it. You're willing to defy Sir Guy, even Prince John himself, to risk your own life. And one of those men was a Norman.
Norman or Saxon? What's that matter? It's injustice I hate, not the Normans.
With whom she would only share the screen 8 times. Robin Hood is hard to beat, but coming in a very close second is Gunga Din. It stars the dynamic trio of Cary Grant, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and Victor McLaglen as 3 roguish, wisecracking British soldiers who romp through colonial India like the 3 Musketeers, brawling, carousing, and generally looking for trouble. And they find it when they get pulled into the most dangerous adventure of their lives.
Mates, come on!
Gunga Din was the blockbuster of its day, despite going 40 days over schedule and $500,000 over budget. Speaking of blockbusters...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood. In just a few moments, these doors behind you will open, and your magical journey into the movies will begin. Once you enter our soundstage, we ask you please keep your parties together and refrain from eating, drinking, smoking, and the use of flash photography. Once on board, please remain seated throughout the entire show, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Don't forget to supervise your children. Thank you, and enjoy your ride on the Great Movie Ride.
On vacation in Hawaii, his good friend Steven Spielberg, who also made a name for himself, directing smash hits like Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, mentioned that he might be interested in directing a James Bond film. Well, Lucas set about convincing his friend that he had an even better character and explained his concept for Raiders of the Lost Ark. Spielberg loved it, calling it a James Bond film without the hardware. He had a beef, though, with Indiana's last name. He didn't think Smith was right, so Lucas replied, okay, what about Jones? And thus a legend was born, or at least conceived. Despite enthusiasm for the script and a chance to work with 2 of Hollywood's most talented movie makers, studios were very reluctant to finance Raiders due to the fears that such an epic production might be prohibitively expensive to make. Eventually, Paramount struck a deal, though, and the production team began to plan, meticulously storyboarding so as to make the shoot as efficient as possible. Amazingly, they were able to finish the shoot in a mere 73 days, right on budget. The result was one of the greatest blockbusters in history, becoming a worldwide sensation and the top-grossing film of that year. Raiders made Harrison Ford one of the biggest stars in Hollywood and spawned 4 sequels.
Seated throughout the show, and please keep all arms, hands, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Oh, and don't forget to supervise your children. And for the safety of our cast, we ask you please refrain from any use of flash photography and external video lighting. Now that we've taken care of business, let's talk about me. My name is Amanda, and I'll be your guide for this magical journey into the movies. It's the perfect job for me because I love movies. Is everybody ready? Great, because the cameras are ready to roll. Ready when you are, CB.
a way to start our journey. From the Old West to the rooftops of London and along the yellow brick road, there really is no place like the movies. One of Hollywood's significant contributions to the world of film were great musicals. This scene is from one of my favorites, the 1933 Busby Berkeley spectacular Footlight Parade. Here's one of the most famous of all dance sequences. It's from the 1952 musical classic Singing in the Rain.
Here's Gene Kelly singing in the rain. Literally.
Here's one of the quintessential Disney musicals, Mary Poppins, starring Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke. This classic earned 13 Academy Award nominations.
Chim Chim Cherie. I love this song. Sing along. Some purses, folks. This doesn't look like a very good neighborhood.
Here's the birthplace of the gangster film, the seedy underbelly of Chicago, from The Public Enemy, starring James Cagney. Released in 1931 before strict censorship rules were enforced, The Public Enemy is a gritty, realistic, and violent look at the world of gangsters of the Depression era.
I love this movie. In one famous scene, James Cagney shoves a grapefruit in Meg Clark's face. She can never look at breakfast the same way again. These tough guys could turn anything into a weapon.
George comes around, he's going to leave you some beer, and you're going to take him. And you're going to kick him with the dog. And if you don't, somebody's going to drop by here and kick your teeth out one at a time. Like me.
Is it them? Yeah, just a bunch of rubbernecking tourists.
You want to blow our cover?
Sorry about the delay, folks, but I don't want to run a red light, even in the movies.
Hey, you. Hey, come here.
I'm not allowed to leave my vehicle.
I said get over here.
I think it's time for a visit to a concession stand. Bye.
Mr. Osborne, wait. Okay, Muggsy, whatever you say.
Hey, how'd you know my name anyways?
I've seen this movie before.
The heat's on, see? Your fancy car is going to get out of here, so beat it.
You're making a big mistake here, Muggsy.
I said scream out of here or you're gonna get hurt.
I can't smoke out in the middle of a movie.
Shut up, bitch!
Here they come, boss! Get out your grinders! I'm hit! Hey, I'm hit! Muggsy! Hey, guys! Hey! Muggsy! Muggsy! Where's his bed? Real bed!
Everybody just sit tight. I'm in a red light against the wall. How would you ever break the wall? What's this? No more red lights.
Muggsy!
Hey, sorry, boys. I'm making my getaway. Give my regards to the warden. Suckers. Hey, what are you looking at? Everybody wants your piece of cues, and maybe you won't get hurt, huh? Whoa. This must be the west side of town.
Western films depict a legendary American wild frontier, where cowboys and their loyal steeds maintain order in towns against the untamable wilderness. John Wayne and Clint Eastwood are two of the iconic stars who epitomize this ideal of the stoic gunslinger.
A long time ago, I made me a rule. Let people do what they want.
Sleepy little bird, ain't it?
That's some mighty tough territory you're heading into, Pilgrim. I'd think about turning back if I was you. That is, if you want my opinion.
Now that we're in the clear, this is the perfect time for me to collect up all your valuables. We'll start with the jewelry, then move on to the hard cash.
There it is. It's the bank robber. Don't let him get away.
Hey, I don't even like this neighborhood, Father.
Drop your gun. You're under arrest.
Let him go, Norman.
Give yourself up. Your gun will go in soon.
I'll get out of here. What's that in this way? Ain't that any worse? It's worse. I don't know about you guys, but this is starting to get kind of creepy. Where are we? Jersey?
Science fiction has been a staple of classic movies, from George Méliès's A Trip to the Moon to George Lucas's Star Wars. In 1979, director Ridley Scott and Sigourney Weaver made audiences believe that in space, no one can hear you scream. This is Alien.
Hey, Cupcake. How do we get out of here?
Warning, remain in your vehicle. The area you are entering is extremely dangerous. Proceed with caution.
The emergency destructive system is now active. The ship will detonate in T-10. The option to override automatic fire What is that thing?
Steven Spielberg and George Lucas cemented their status as the blockbuster boys with their first partnership. Here from that legendary collaboration is Harrison Ford as archaeologist Indiana
Hey, cut it out with that light, will ya?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Some of the biggest horror stars of Hollywood have appeared in the ancient story of a cursed Egyptian temple. A priceless jewel that beckons to all, but be warned, the temptation always leads to destruction.
Get a load of that, Chuck Eyes. Time for me to get back to work. Good thing I don't believe in ghost stories. Now, don't nobody move while I go get the goods. I don't think they'd notice a few extra bodies around here. If you know what I mean.
I've seen enough movies to know that you really shouldn't even think about trying to steal that jewel.
Halt, unbeliever. Disturb the treasure of the gods, and you shall all pay with your lives.
chimpanzee actors over the years?
Most famous film role. In 1942, Bogey finally got to spread his wings and romance the beautiful Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca.
Inside of us, we both know you belong to Victor. Always work the thing that keeps him going. If that plane leaves the ground, you're not with him for better. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon, for the rest of your life. You always have parents. You also have
Mickey Mouse, the Sorcerer's Apprentice in Fantasia.
When the film came out in 1940, Walt Disney promised to add new musical sequences in a feature. His nephew Boy got that promise 60 years later with the release of Fantasia 2000.
We've come over the rainbow and into one of the most beloved and most watched films in movie history, The Wizard of Oz.
So no, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. I didn't mean to kill anybody.
Well, my little pretty, I can cause accidents too.
Oh, rubbish. You have no power here. Be gone before somebody drops the house on you, too.
Very well. I'll bide my time. But just try to stay out of my way. Just try. I'll get you, my pretty. And your little dog, too.
I wonder how we get out of here. What do you folks think? Which way do we go?
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. How I might think of that. Sing along, folks. You know the words.
Here at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Turner Classic Movies. We hope you've enjoyed our tour through some of my favorite films, but remember, there are many more adventures waiting for you every day on TCM.
better start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner.
Is it safe?
Look up your phone! I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
I'm a man. Yeah? Nobody's perfect.
Shut up!
And remember, you can find many more beloved stories and legendary stars on Turner Classic Movies.
On behalf of Disney's Hollywood Studios and Turner Classic Movies, we thank you for joining us on the Great Movie Ride. Now, please remain seated until the vehicle comes to a complete stop. Gather your personal belongings, take small children by the hands, and when these doors open, rise dramatically to your feet and make a grand exit directly to the rear of your vehicle. Oh, and one more thing, when I yell actions, don't forget